I am Maria Garcia de Florin. On September 6, 1944, 80 years ago, along with 11 other members of his religious community, the Venezuelan bishop Monsignor Salvador Montes de Oca was shot in Tuscany, Italy, by members of the Nazi army. Monsignor Montes de Oca was born in Carora, Lara State, Venezuela, in 1895. At the age of 15, he entered the St. Thomas Aquinas Seminary to train as a priest. At the age of 31, he was consecrated as the second bishop of Valencia, Carabobo State in Venezuela. Being bishop, he made frequent pastoral visits to all corners of the diocese. He preached, baptized, gave First Holy Communion, performed confirmations, and took care of the poorest and the neediest. When he knew of a family's need, he gave money to the children so as not to embarrass the mother. He wrote a lot in order to reach the faithful as efficiently as possible. He lived fully the words of Christ. The truth will set you free. He was a great fighter for freedom and human rights, especially cared about the political prisoners confined in the Libertador Castle in Porto Cabello, as well as the families of all the detainees. He was expelled from Venezuela under the accusation of rebellion against national sovereignty for his courageous defense of the sanctity of marriage as he opposed the divorce of President Juan Bautista Pérez. He was called again by the president to return to the country and was received triumphantly by all the people. Then he asked the Pope for the power to leave the government of the diocese and become a Carthusian. He entered the monastery of the Charter House of La Farneta in Italy, and there he lived in simplicity and humility as a novice, dedicated to prayer, meditation, and manual work. It was a time of Nazism. The Nazi soldiers entered the monastery, accused them of hiding the persecuted, shot them, and threw them into a mass grave. In reality, what they did was give heroic testimony of faith, hope, prayer, joy, and charity towards those they received who were fleeing. They accompanied them. They even consoled them, those who were about to die, helping them in their last moments so that they could have a holy death. After the war, they found them in the pit. The remains of Monsignor Montes de Oca were recognized in February 1947 thanks to the breviary, the prayer book, that he had with him at the time of his execution. His remains were taken to Venezuela and buried in the Cathedral Basilica of Our Lady of Socorro of the Archdiocese of Valencia. His beatification and canonization process was opened in 2017 and is currently in the diocesan phase. Monsignor Montes de Oca is remembered as a martyr of charity, as an exemplary Venezuelan, and always committed Christian and priest. His death was the crowning of an entire life that always sought to bring people closer to God through love, solidarity, charity, and the exercise of justice. The fact that Monsignor Montes de Oca went from being a bishop with a very fruitful episcopal ministry to a humble Carthusian cell eloquently testifies the importance of a life of prayer and the inestimable value of a hidden life, all offered to God for love, because Monsignor Montes de Oca was clear that with God we always win.